Hello! Today on the Better Pet Parenting Show, we are going to speak to Pradeepa. Pradeepa is somebody who quit her job to start working in the pet care space because she was very passionate about it. She started Furry Tales a while back, and it's an education platform, very similar to what we do at Sploot actually. And she makes a lot of merch for pet parents. So that's t-shirts, mugs, etc., that you could buy to flaunt what you believe you are when you're a pet parent. And recently she's done something really interesting. She is now a certified pet bereavement advisor. I think the name is pretty explanatory, but I'm just going to call her and let's speak to her and find out what it really means. Just waiting for her to join. Hi!
Hi!
Hello,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good as well. I see you.
Am I?
4G is working. So for everybody,
Yeah, thankfully.
everybody joined in. Pradeepa is sitting in Goa right now, where she's based, and we are lucky enough to have some Goa vibes on this chat today. So
Take all the vibes. Give me some thandi, yeah.
यहाँ नहीं है ठंडी. Delhi is just hot. So awesome. So Pradeepa, thank you so much for doing this. I was just telling everybody
Thank you for having me.
how you started in a corporate career, then switched over to doing Furry Tales, and then recently also got your certification for a bereavement advisor. So tell us a little bit about, what motivated you to start Furry Tales, and then how you got the certification as well.
Okay. So I was a corporate branding and marketing person in the banking and financial sector for about 6.5 years or so. And once I started living on my own, a few years into my job, I started fostering because I always wanted pets, and my parents were like, "Ghar pe ya to hum rahenge ya tumhare pets rahenge." So I decided once I move out, I'll start fostering. Yeah. I think towards the end of those 6.5 years, I had already adopted 2 cats by then. Foster phase, and I was just not in a zone to go to a corporate job anymore. So I started thinking what I wanted to do, and once I had enough savings, I said, "Chalo, let me just take a leap of faith, quit, and we'll see what happens." I hadn't figured out what I wanted to do. All I knew was that I was passionate about animals, and I was helping with a lot of fostering and donations, etc. back then. So I quit. And for the next 1 year, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I was figuring out options. Options were all like, you're passionate about animals, open a shop, pet merchandise बेच लो. I was like, नहीं यार, दुकानदारी नहीं करनी, मुझे कुछ और करना है. I also explored animal communication. I'm also certified in that from Earthwise. Nice. But I did that for free for a few months, and it takes a lot out of you actually. So I didn't want to do that on a continual basis, and then that's when Furry Tales ka idea came to me. It started out as an idea to have a pet parent community, because there was not a single platform where I would go and ask a lot of questions back then. This was in 2015. And not many options or answers that I was getting online. That is how the idea started. And I had to learn everything from scratch when I became a pet parent. No one told me that my 5-month-old cat is capable of shredding my sofa to pieces. So I was like, let me try and put my learnings onto a blog and see what kind of response it gets. That's how it started as an educational platform. Then I started doing adoption stories. I started asking people to share their adoption stories with me, spoke to a lot of them, captured a lot of them. And then it also turned into a platform where I would put people who wanted to foster and rescuers in touch with each other. And a lot more animals were able to get adopted or fostered through the platform. And last year, I also launched merchandise for pet parents, and we had started testing the products at exhibitions. They were doing well, and then the pandemic struck. Yeah, so it hasn't gone live on the site yet, but hopefully in the next 1 or 2 months it should be up. So let's see.
Awesome. That
That's how
sounds,
Furry Tale started. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And
And
so,
about
yeah.
my certification. Sorry, you were saying.
नहीं नहीं वही पूछ रही थी. Go on.
So we are parents to 3 cats and 3 dogs right now. And when we shifted to Goa, we had adopted Theo just before we shifted to Goa, and we tragically lost him at the age of 11 months old due to a congenital heart disease. And we weren't prepared for it. It was a very sudden shock, and that took us, that completely changed our world. And I realized that a lot of other people also go through this. And I started reading a lot of blogs, and I was in these groups where people discuss their departed pets. And I realized that a lot of international countries have these support groups. They have, they even have pet handlers who, are able to help you. If suppose you're not able to do the last rites for your pets because you don't have the heart for it, they're able to do that for you. So that's also a service that was there. And I wanted to do something in the service line, but I wasn't sure what. And then I realized there's something called as pet bereavement groups.
Okay.
So I did a little bit of digging, and there are, I think, 1 or 2 organizations that offer it in India. I reached out to them, asked them about it, but apparently no one from India had ever done this.
Oh, okay.
And so I said,
because I haven't heard of it even before. So I saw that video of yours that you made and kind of went viral, I think, in this space. And I had actually never even, I'm lucky enough to not go through it, have gone through it, which is why I feel like I've kind of avoided even the thought of it. But you're right. I mean, it's something that you don't really come across, right? Last rites for pets in India, plus like even like the process of dealing with the loss, right?
Correct.
So what is it like?
So I actually asked them. What is it like?
What is it like? You said, right? Like it's a little more developed in Europe and some countries in the US.
It is. They have, like, how you have support groups and, advisors or even coaches for your mental health. People have this for their pets there. In fact, I clearly remember in Ireland a few years back when I was visiting, I saw pet cemeteries dedicated to pets with beautiful poems written on it. And, it just warms your heart that why don't we have that here? Of course, lack of space and everything is one thing. But then I thought, if I have to do it, why not I do it from a place that has been in this field for the longest time ever. And I found out that Blue Cross UK offers this course.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, it took me 2 years to convince myself and reach a point where I thought I was ready to do it, because I knew while doing the course, you're reliving your ordeal. And it took me that much time to convince myself to do it. So yeah, last year during the pandemic, I took full advantage of all the time I was at home, and I enrolled myself, and got certified. And I just put it out on Instagram about a month or so ago that I'm now open to taking sessions, and it's surprising. I didn't expect the kind of response I received. I've been doing at least 2 or 3 sessions a week, which also is a lot considering this is not considered, normal in India.
Correct. So, like therapy in general, and then specifically for pets as well.
Correct.
I think,
taboo. Yeah, if someone hears, they'll be like, pagal ho kya? But yeah, thankfully, I'm glad that people are opening up, and I'm glad I'm able to help in whatever way I can.
So I think for the purpose of this conversation, right, I think it would be really helpful if we could talk a little bit about the bond itself, right? There's so much that you hear or so much that we consume on social media that, we kind of only stick to very like fun things or things that, are entertaining.
Yeah.
But what does the bond really mean, right? If we were to get into the depth of it, what is it like to have a dog? What is that? I mean, everybody who has one
It's
feels
very
it.
simple. It's
Yeah.
commitment and responsibility. It's not just, social media pictures.
Mm.
Having a pet in your life is a full-time responsibility. Your calendars revolve around them once you have them in your life.
Yeah.
And the fact that, of course, you like the fun things are there, but the pros are that you're coming back home to a very non-judgmental entity,
Mm.
someone you can be silly with, someone who makes you happy by just looking at you, and you get happy ki, okay, he's looking at me and his tail is wagging, so someone loves me. First of all, that's
Yeah.
a very lovely feeling to come back home to. It's not without its cons. It comes with a lot of emotional, financial, and physical responsibilities. You got to take them for their walks, you got to invest time in them. They're like a baby. You don't give them time, they also become sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these are things. It's like having a small kid. The bond is
Mm.
that of raising a small kid,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's any less than having to raise a human kid.
Mm. Yeah. No, I think,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I feel like everybody who has a
you
dog
have pets. What do you
kind of get
think?
there. I mean, I feel like it's also something that mirrors human relationships, right? Like I've had dogs before where I felt like, I mean, my dog's in Chandigarh, they're basically living with my parents, and I think of them like brothers,
Okay,
right? Because I wasn't the primary caregiver with them. So it was a very, it still
correct,
is. I mean, it's a very like playful relationship where I feel like I'm spending time with a sibling, right? But that
correct,
is
correct.
such a different feeling now because now I've got a dog of my own who I'm taking care of myself, and she
Yeah,
feels like a child, right? And it's because I am
correct,
responsible for everything that she does in the day, to make sure that she has a long life and she lives it in the best way possible. It's such a different
correct.
feeling, and even when when we go to Chandigarh and all three dogs are together, my mom comments on it now actually that, oh, now you know what it's like to have a daughter, and now you know what it's like to have a kid, because it's just apparent, like it's so different. Like I'm constantly worried about her and just like looking out for her, even though there are these other two dogs who I've spent more time with. So I think you're absolutely right. Like it's a relationship, right? It's not like it's just like a toy that you have at home, which is why
Correct.
it's
And
so.
also, if you see the
Hmm,
definition of having a pet has changed from what we used to see earlier. Like I
yeah.
remember in my childhood, my grandparents used to have this dog called Ramu.
Hmm.
Ramu kaka type, Ramu. So, the definition of having a pet at that point was कि अच्छा जो खाना बच गया उसमें कुछ मिला के खिला दो वो हमारे घर की रखवाली करेगा. Not allowed on
Hmm.
beds, not allowed inside the rooms, but loved and cared for. Even when he passed away, everyone shed a tear. But
Yeah.
now it's not the same, right? Everyone, like, I cannot tell my dogs, please don't get on my bed. They will tell me where I can sit. The
Yeah.
relationship has changed over the years, and I think people also, a lot of urban couples are also choosing not to have kids and have pets instead.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
as humans, there is this thing called theory of attachment.
Hmm.
Apparently, as human beings, we have this need to be a caregiver.
Hmm. Yeah.
That is also what defines your relationship with your
Correct.
pets.
Correct. Or there are also cases of so somebody I was talking to was telling me that apparently San Francisco has more dogs than children as a city, right? And
Oh,
that's
wow.
supposed to be like the epitome of um, nuclear families and couples living together and like just really young people starting out in life, right? And that just tells you what it
Correct.
is. That people are choosing to get pets, whether they choose to have kids or not. I feel like it's starting to become like that first step, right? Where you
Correct.
check if you are ready for that responsibility, right? It's a
Correct.
little
Correct.
more low risk, but I feel like the emotions are pretty much at the same level, right?
Yeah,
And
your
that's
emotional investment is the same now.
yeah, correct. Awesome. So now let's get into the slightly more serious stuff, which is the loss, right?
Serious part of it. Yeah.
And
Correct.
how have you seen that impact? I mean, you've personally gone through it as well, and you're speaking to a lot more people who are kind of going through it. How have you seen that impact people?
So the thing is, people really, when I say pet loss or pet bereavement, people relate to it as loss to death, losing your pet
Mm-hmm.
to death alone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not the only kind of loss. It could be that your cat or dog has gone missing and you've not been able to find them.
Right.
And that in itself is a loss. It could be that you have separated from your partner or your family, and the dog you love so much is in their care, and you are not
Yeah.
able to be with them anymore. For what
Yeah.
that is also considered a huge loss. First of all, it cannot be defined. Ki, just death alone is a loss for a pet
Correct.
parent.
Right.
If you've loved an animal in your life, you'll know that being away from them for even a few days feels like you've lost something in life for those few days. So
Hmm.
first of all, that feeling alone is unbearable, and then having to live through it is another. Um that's completely another story. But
Yeah.
how does it impact you? First of all, like I said, the relationship we have with our pets now, and I think for the last few 2-3 decades now, people consider their pets as their siblings, their kids.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're not there physically anymore, first of all, that hits you. It feels like
Hmm.
life has knocked you sideways, and you're not. It's not the same anymore. You feel like the color has gone out of your life. Who do you come back home to? You might have all these people sitting around waiting for you, but you feel like no, that one important entity in my life is not there. Who do I go back home to?
Yeah.
Um, so it's a very deep and sometimes a very undescribable void.
Hmm.
So, mortality is something very hard to deal with as is, and when you
Yeah.
lose your animal companion that cannot who cannot speak, but gives you the entire dunya jahan ka pyar and attention and uh, your comfort zone, your safe person.
Yeah.
I call them people only. Your safe
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
they're not there anymore. So that kind
Yeah.
of loss is very very hard to. It's very
Yeah.
triggering. It's extremely hard. I
Yeah.
lost Theo very suddenly,
Hmm.
and we couldn't make head or tail of it for the longest time.
Yeah.
And different people deal with it very differently.
Hmm.
Uh, I had the time to grieve because I work from home.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, Rohan, my husband, he had to go to work immediately in a day or two. So I think
Yeah.
it's been 3 years, and I think he still processes his grief one day at a time.
Hmm. Yeah. And I feel like the added, and I think you've touched upon it in your content as well, right? The added, I don't know what to call it, but the added irritation at least is that not everybody around you will understand, right? That it is
Correct.
legit grief.
The social
How,
format of
yeah, like people don't get
being a particular way.
correct, right? And we've seen it.
Yeah,
I'm
people
sure.
don't get it. They're like, "Kutta hi to hai, billi hi to hai. Why are you so upset about it?"
Mm,
No, they were, yes, they were a different species, but they were maybe as and more important than a human being in someone's life. So
yeah,
people don't understand this, and like I said, a lot of people are not able to open up and talk about their grief because a lot of people around them are not supportive enough, or they
yeah,
don't empathize, or some of them even go ahead and celebrate ki chalo now you can be free to do other things.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it may not be that they're intentionally looking to hurt you. It might just be that they're voicing their opinions without realizing that they're hurting the person who's feeling the
Yeah,
loss right now.
yeah. As we're talking, that song is playing in my head. I just realized from Jaane To Ya Jaane Na, and it starts off with her losing her cat, and the whole college is
Correct.
now singing that she should now smile, and then he gets her a cat in the end, right? And
Correct.
somehow that is supposed to make it okay. And that's something that somebody asked on the questions that I had posted on my story as well before we had this talk. That is that a way that you can use for coping as well? What is your, I mean, take on it?
See, there's no one size fits all. There is
Hmm.
no format ki, this type of personality can heal in this way and this type of personality should not do this. To
Hmm.
each their own. First of all, I think if you, after losing your current pet, if you're planning on getting another one home, first of all, think what is it that you're trying to do when you are
Yeah.
planning this? Are you trying to replace the pet that you lost? Because unfortunately, that is um, not doable.
Yeah.
They be them, and whoever comes next will be them.
Yeah.
Um, or if you think that, I've had dogs, I can't do without an animal in my life anymore, and you still have it in you to be able to care for another one, then I think just think about those things. Are you emotionally ready? Will you be able to do everything for the next pet that you did for the previous one without
Yeah.
uh, giving into your own? Of course, grief takes time to deal with, and uh, healing is not linear. But the very fact that do justice to the next pet that you get home. Don't
Yeah.
it's very easy to let grief consume your whole being, but
Mm.
some other voiceless animals shouldn't suffer because of that. So just think about
Yeah.
these questions, and it's completely okay. We adopted Snowy about 2 months, almost 2 months after we lost Theo. And honestly speaking, Rohan didn't think he was ready. But
Mm.
I knew he would be okay once she's home. And the minute they met, they're a team now, and I'm the third wheel in my marriage. So you please also make sure that all your members of the family are on board, because um, some of them are not ready for another pet yet. Some of
Yeah.
them are still petrified and still afraid that something might happen to the next one. So
Yeah.
these are all the factors I think you can keep in
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah. And I remember when we were chatting about what we want to talk about on this. We also talked about, how sometimes family, meaning in a good way, will also stop you or forbid you from getting another dog, right? Like I've had friends who've lost dogs,
Correct.
and then their grandparents or their parents will say, okay, we can't now because you get too affected, right? How do you deal with that?
Correct.
Yeah.
It actually depends on your personal equation with your family. Like I remember, I had gone home. I couldn't stand being at home
Mm.
after Theo, so I went home to my parents.
Mm.
And my father saw me and he said, "No more dogs for you. Enough. I've seen you grieve enough, because I've lost a lot of animals over the
Yeah.
years to illnesses or delicate foster situations. But this was a very hard blow. And he said, "No more dogs for you. I've seen you grieve enough. Please,"
Mm.
because my parents also have dogs. He was like, "Whenever you feel like it, take a flight, come home, spend time with them." But
Mm.
you're living in your own space, in your own bubble, and it's not the same. You can't. At midnight, if I'm missing, that feeling of having an animal at home, I can't take a flight the very next morning and go. Each
Yeah.
day is different.
Yeah.
So I had decided it's okay. And funny thing, my father didn't know I had adopted for a year. So I revealed it a year later. By that time he had seen that I have gotten much better, and I started smiling again, and so I knew that it was the right time to tell him. But don't
Yeah.
do this. Please don't pull this trick on all your parents. They'll come searching for my blood. But yeah, it depends on the equation you have with your family. Are you
Yeah.
living nuclear family, or if you're in a joint family, then all members need to be
Can
on
be a
board.
little tough. Yeah. 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 I think it comes down to them wanting the best for you, and I think it comes out of a good place. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like you said, right? They are beings of their own kind, right? It's not
yeah,
like they're replaceable. They've got their own personalities. So the bond that you share, you can't really, replace it or say that, okay, I can just live without it. So it is a little,
correct.
yeah, it is a little unique in that way. So Atulya
It's
on
very
the,
unique. You can't
yeah,
compare.
yeah,
Huh, sorry,
yeah, yeah. No, no, go on, go on,
someone saying.
go on.
No, I'm saying it's very unique. Like I remember initially when I got Snowy home also after Theo, I used to wonder, will I be able to love her? Like I liked her a lot, and I knew
Mm,
that we needed another dog. But
mm,
sometimes in my initial feelings were, if I will I be able to love her? Then I started loving her, and then
mm,
obviously प्यार तो हो ही जाता है प्यार करके. But
mm,
after that, my next question was, will Theo feel bad? Like, in my head, these were all thoughts in my head. Do I love her more than I loved him? But the thing
mm,
is, honestly, your bond with each of your animals is so different. There's no comparison. And
yeah.
like, you'll miss some things about them, you'll miss some things about this one. And yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, I think Atulya is asking something on the chat which is for me, similar, right? Which is how to stop feeling guilty. How do you, I mean, tackle that when somebody comes to you for these sessions?
Um, so unfortunately, guilt comes hand in hand with losing your pet, because first of
Mm.
all you feel guilty that you weren't able to protect them. Then you start
Yeah.
feeling guilty about, did I not notice something earlier, or could I have done something else, etc. And it's very intense, that it's an intense feeling, to keep feeling blamed,
Yeah.
and you're blaming yourself. First of all, it's not like someone else is blaming you, that you can brush it aside.
Mm.
The guilt comes from your internal voices. But I think what you need to really focus on is, did you do everything you could in your capacity as a human being?
Yeah.
We are animal lovers, we can't play gods. First, I
Yeah.
think it's very important to remember that.
Mm.
And I think most caring, loving pet parents would have done everything they could in their
Mm.
capacity to be able to save their animal meet a certain fate.
Yeah.
So I think focusing on, did you do everything that you could have? And I'm sure most of us have, and most of those who are feeling like this have already. So yeah, some things are unfortunately not in our hands. Like I said, we are animal lovers. We can't play gods, and sometimes there are no answers. Sometimes they
Yeah.
just leave suddenly. So
Yeah.
it's a process. The guilt will go when you try to recognize the pattern. Why is it that you're feeling like this? And if you need help, please reach out to a therapist or an advisor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it might help too.
Yeah. Um, Awesome. I hope that helps, Atulya. And I think the last part of this session, right, I wanted to focus on how do you, so we've talked a lot about helping yourself, right? Get through guilt, get through what happens next. How do you get through the emotions once you go through something like this? How can you help if a friend is going through this, right? Or if somebody in your family is going through something like this? How can you be a good friend to that person?
I think just being there helps. And if you can't be there physically,
Mm.
once in a while, just drop in a message saying, "Hey, just checking in on you. Don't need to respond if you don't feel like it. Just want to know that
Mm.
I just want you to know that I'm here." Because
Yeah.
honestly, every time someone asks you how are you feeling, for the next few days, months, sometimes years, you're not the same person anymore. Um, so, I would say, please don't give unsolicited advice. Don't go
Mm.
around making statements or saying things that unfortunately can be very hurting in such a delicate this thing. Don't offer to get them another dog or cat unless they specifically say they're looking to get one at
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and don't say ki, they're in a better place. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's hope. We hope that they're in a better place. um, Instead of saying, and instead of making it feel like it was his time, or abhi, you can move on with your life and do other things. Some of us don't want to move on it. Some of us still want to hold on to those lovely memories. Don't push someone to do something that they're not ready to do.
Mm.
You might cause more harm or hurt than you're realizing. That we like to hold on to the belongings, we like to hold on to memories. um, Try and not invalidate those feelings, because
Yeah.
you may not feel that they're important, but it was very, very important. It's very important for a lot of us. Be respectful, give them their space, and just be there. I think
Yeah.
that's more than enough help, because unfortunately, grief is a very personal experience, and there is only so much you can do, while standing next to someone who's grieving.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that I think very, very actionable kind of points as well, right? Just I mean, if I had to summarize it, don't be an asshole to somebody who's going through something that you don't understand, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So I
no,
think we
like
should,
with
yeah.
with
Hmm.
all due respect, sorry, I do
Yeah.
remember uh, my house help trying to clear up Theo's toys within the first week, saying he's not there anymore. Let's just clear all this up. I was this close to a breakdown, and I
Yeah.
said please, and I just controlled myself. I said please, just leave them alone. I was ready for it after a month or so. It took me a month and a half to even pick up his toys from the garden. So
Yeah.
I might be have been ready after a month. Someone will be ready the very next day. They don't want to look at things. Or they don't want to. Some people are not ready to talk about it. Don't push them.
Mm.
Let
Mm.
them process it on their own first of all.
Yeah, yeah. I think fair advice. I think we should end this on something that's a little more whimsical, which is what
Hmm.
do you think? What is your idea of doggy heaven? Like, what do you think happens? What is like heaven for them?
Ah, what is heaven? I really, every time someone says Rainbow Bridge, I
Yeah.
really see like this beautiful bridge with a lot of flowers and lots of greenery around and so many wagging tails and cats all over the trees.
Uh,
That's my idea of really a pet heaven, and I know we'll not be allowed entry there. But I'd really like to be like this fly on the wall and see them going berserk. Like I can imagine a lot of dogs that I have known who are no more doing
yeah.
crazy things up there as well. So
Hmm.
yeah, what is your idea of doggy heaven?
I don't know actually. This question popped into my head, and I thought, let me ask you. And, all I can think of is I'm sure there's lots of like crunchy leaves to pee on, and lots of like like ropes and stuff that you pull and then like treats fall from the sky. Yeah, like that's what I know my
Ah.
dog would want because she kind of uses it like
You
an
know, I
alarm
also
bell.
see a lot of my murdered plants along with them over there. A lot of my plants that get murdered.
Regenerating,
I see all of them there with them.
yeah, yeah, instant regenerating plants so that they get ruined and then they're back again.
Yeah,
Awesome. Oh
doggy
yeah,
heaven would be nice to visit someday.
Kunal saying lots of sticks, balls, treatums, chimkin, and belly rubs. I think belly rubs. I think there should just be like a station, like those kissing booths, no? Like have like a belly rub station. If you want one, please
But
go
who's
line up.
giving them these belly rubs?
I don't know,
How
some
do we
like
apply for
friendly
that
human
position?
that universally they like. Maybe we can like volunteer and stuff for that.
I'd love to.
Maybe that's heaven for humans. Work at a belly rub station.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Sorry,
you
I
so
had
much.
one
Yeah, yeah, go
question.
on. हाँ
Sorry,
बोलो
sorry. I
बोलो
had
बोलो.
one question that someone had sent me on through my profile,
हाँ.
saying how do you cope with the loss? So there are like I just thought of it, and I think there are these 3 4 things you can do to maybe
Okay.
kind of feel better for a while. One is
Yeah.
exercise,
Hmm.
if you can, or meditate. It releases a certain hormone and you kind of feel better. Don't ask me the name of the hormone, I forgot right now. But
Yeah.
uh, also, recognize your triggers. Maybe like if you think passing through a certain park will remind you of them and you'll not be able to take it, or going to a certain store, you'll see some toy or something that they'll like. So once you
Hmm.
recognize your trigger, and you'll be able to manage it slightly better, and you could even turn these triggers into something more memorable instead of something that causes you hurt once you're
Hmm.
ready for it.
Yeah.
And maybe do something charitable, yeah, in their memory. Let
Hmm.
some other
Yeah.
doggos get more chimkin, more toys. Let some more cats get some cat trees.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like let
The memory.
let it feel like they have a legacy forward.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. And the exercise piece as well, right? Like typically that's what people say, even when you yourself are going through a down period in time, that it helps to have something to do in the day, right? To sort of keep you going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also surround yourself with people who understand your loss. Not only that,
Hmm.
one thing I think which a lot of pet parents kind of forget because of the grief that they're going through,
Yeah.
they kind of ignore people in their life who are also grieving for the same pet. Because they might be your
Hmm.
friends who loved your pet as much. They might be your parents who are also grieving silently, but you're so
Yeah.
engulfed. So surround yourself with them and maybe even try to support them like they support you.
Yeah. 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 Basically, that there are other people who you can lean on, right? And don't like shut yourself off to things that the
Yeah,
same
and they
way you're
might
going
also
through it.
need to lean on you because they're also going through maybe the intensity of the pain might differ from yours, but doesn't mean that they're not hurting also because they also loved your dog or cat or
Hmm.
whichever
Yeah.
pet.
Yeah. 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 No, I think makes a lot of
So
sense,
yeah,
and that's a very practical note to kind of end this on as well. So thank you so much, Pradeepa, for doing this. I think
Thank
I've
you
learned
so
quite a bit.
much.
Yeah, I've
Thank
learned
you.
quite a bit as well. I hope I'm not like, I mean, I hope I can be a better friend to anybody who's going through this as well. And I hope everybody watching also takes away things that you can do to help people going through it, and of course yourself. So, yeah, thank
Thank you
you.
so much. I hope so too. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Bye. Take care.
bye.